It's finally here. It's so exhilarating. You mean you still don't know what I'm talking about? Come on. It's the biggest sale of the year, Konga Yakata. That's right. From Monday, click on konga.com. Intentionally browse through the website to see those juicy offers you've been waiting for. And choose your desired products at unbeatable prices you can't find anywhere else. You know, you may even become the lucky winner of our treasure hunt. Promise to carefully search for that. Every day is fresh and promising on konga.com this season, I assure you. And that's how I welcome you to today's edition of Talking Health with Bumi, your authoritative health show on air. Thanks for keeping the date with me. For being a faithful of Talking Health with Bumi, I have freebies for you as well. Yeah, I know life is two ways, right? But only if you stay till the end, right? So let's resume from where we left off on the Dental Health Edition I began some time ago with a dental surgeon and enthusiast who works at Smile 360 Dental Hospital, Dr. Oladapo Ogunjimi. In case you missed the first episode, just type in dental health on this channel and it will be right in front of you. Today, Dr. Ogunjimi will take us through the pros and cons of teeth filing. Some of you love that. Some dental health myths and lots more. So, let's go. The way we file our nails, we file our teeth, you make the incisors, you make the molars and premolars sharp, and then the incisors begin to look like rabbit teeth, and it comes out nice. Is there any disadvantage to that, what I term dental aesthetics?
Okay, so I noticed that is becoming a trend these days, people filing their teeth.
And I love it myself. I've not done one, but I love it.
Okay, so let me point out that there is a big disadvantage to that.
Woo.
And it is very dangerous.
Oh, stop
Filing the teeth, many people do this, they go to quacks, some people even do it at home. They just get something very hot or very sharp and they do the filing by themselves. Now,
seriously?
yes, I've seen videos online of people doing that. Now, let me explain that filing of the teeth can be done by the dentist if needed, and mostly...
What do you mean by if needed?
Yeah.
If I want it, is that not needed enough?
If you want it and I assess you, in fact, if you want it, my first thing to tell you is to not try it.
Tell me.
Yeah, so I'm going to explain the reason why I said dentists can decide to do it if needed, and that has to do with orthodontic treatment. When we are getting braces and we need some movements and we need some spaces as well, we can do some filing, but it is very, very minimal that is, you cannot see it with the naked eyes until maybe you come very close to the person.
Really?
So that is, but what I notice people do these days, they file the teeth into some shapes that
yes.
are very obvious. Some say I like spaces in between my teeth, I like gap teeth or diastema, and some people file their teeth. Now, the reason why I say it's dangerous is that the teeth is the hardest substance in the body, even harder than bone, and that's because of the structure. Now, what we are seeing outside is what we know as the enamel. Inside the enamel, there is another layer called the dentin, which is a very sensitive part of our tooth. So when people come down with sensitivity, it has to do with the fact that some of their, is either the enamel is already thinned out,
I see.
or part of the dentin is exposed. So when we do this filing, many people that are doing this outside or home base, they don't know the extent at which the dentin can, the enamel is covering the dentin, except with professional. That's when even some patients need to be filed, they need filing for treatment in orthodontic treatment. But when you assess them, you see, no, this is too much for them to bear. We cannot go ahead, we have to look for another alternative in creating these spaces. So when people do this, they expose their dentin, some lower the enamel to a very thin layer, and then they come down with severe sensitivity.
Oh my.
I have witnessed one before that the patient came to the clinic crying because she couldn't sleep. And what happened was that she decided to file her teeth on her own at home.
Jeez.
And the next day, she could not sleep at all. She had severe sensitivity. Like, sensitivity was so much that she was crying inside the clinic as she was talking. We had to put off the air conditioners just to make sure that there is no trigger. So since it is very dangerous, and when you do that, you can't get your teeth back. It's gone.
Oh boy.
Which means we have to start looking for expensive treatment options to cover up for whatever damage they have done. So the filing of the teeth is what I have to discourage. It is very, very bad.
Okay, so doctor, for children, 2-in-1 question, okay? At what stage is it recommended for a child to be taken to a dentist? And why should a child use braces?
Okay. When children are growing, they have two phases. Actually, all of us have 2 phases of dentition: the milk teeth and the permanent. The milk teeth should be in place, that is completed in the mouth, as at the age of 2 to 3, 2.5 to 3 years of age. By then, we should have the full complement of milk teeth in the mouth. At that period in time, you should always take your children for a check and to be sure that everything is going on well.
Okay.
Then the next thing is when they start having permanent dentition too. But in between that period, there is like a 3-4 year gap in between them. That does not mean that when we are going for our own 6 months dental checkup, we shouldn't take them along. It's just for regular checkup. But the major checkups that are actually very important for them has to do around that age, first 2 to 3. Then the next should be when they are starting to have permanent teeth in the mouth. That is starting from age 6, 7 and above. Now, to answer the second part of your question about why are children wearing braces, when braces is used to correct malocclusion, that is the malalignment of our teeth. And the best time to wear braces is when we are younger. And that has to do with because we are still growing, we are in the growing phase, the bone is going to adapt better to the movement of the teeth. There is difference if you see a 50-year-old man and a 16-year-old or a 12-year-old kid now on braces.
Explain the difference.
That has to do with our growth, like I mentioned initially. At a certain age, our bones stop growing. And when they are already in that permanent stage, trying to manipulate the movement of the teeth becomes more difficult. I'm not saying it's not achievable, but it becomes more difficult. That's why you see adults having a prolonged treatment time as compared to children. You see some children, they have braces, and within a year, they are done with their treatment. That is if they are very compliant. Within 1 year, they are done with their treatment. But some adults take time because you have to do a lot of manipulation to achieve whatever. Some don't even get to the ideal bite, but just help improve their occlusion so that we get what is good for them. But for children, because they are in that growing phase, their bones are growing, they adapt easily to it. It's also very convenient for them, and it helps them socially too. Many children they lack self-esteem because of how their dentition is. They can't play with their friends in school because they laugh at them and all that. So at that stage in time, when you do braces for them to it also help them socially, to also help them to boost their self-morale and their self-confidence.
Your smile is your signature. It's unique, captivating, unforgettable. At Smile 360, we understand that excellence is in the details, and every detail here is designed with you in mind. From personalized care and cutting-edge technology to a team of world-class experts, we bring the artistry and precision that your smile deserves. Because true luxury is not just in the experience, but in the results, a smile that radiates confidence and beauty. Discover a new level of dental excellence. Discover Smile 360.
There is something that I've seen with people complain about, and it could be very painful. Teeth growing in, I don't know what you call it, but their teeth, instead of growing out, it grows in. What is that? What is responsible for that? How can it be corrected?
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, what you are trying to say has to do with impaction. We call it impaction in dentistry.
Okay.
And that is when your teeth does not actually grow as into to the level of other teeth. It's not like the tooth is growing in. When we are growing, when we are developing, even from when we are in the womb, we already start developing what is known as tooth buds, which actually develop into the teeth that we are seeing in our mouth. Now, I mentioned earlier too that there are 2 stages of dentition: the milk teeth and permanent teeth. When the milk teeth are already in the mouth, permanent teeth are already forming in the bone and they are ready to erupt. So in some cases, there is not enough space for some permanent teeth to erupt into the mouth, and instead of that, they get stuck in the bone. Some people do have cases where it does not give them any problem at all, while some have cases where the teeth comes out slightly and it's covered by gum. So it is not fully erupted into the mouth, but it is partially erupted. This can cause pain because the gums around them are not used to that position of that particular teeth, meaning that the gums get inflamed. That is why you notice some people saying, I'm going to remove my wisdom teeth. That is very common with our wisdom teeth, third molars. It happens a lot in the third molar. But doesn't mean that it does not happen with any other teeth.
Is it triggered by anything we eat or something?
By anything
What
we eat
tr-
at
so
all.
what-
It has to do with genetics. Most
I
times.
see.
And for some people, it is unexplained. They don't have a particular reason, it just happens like that. So it has nothing to, we don't have any control over it.
Wow.
And the genetics I was talking about, it has to do with the fact that some people inherit the teeth size of one parent and also the bone size of another parent. Some parents, so they can have bigger teeth than the available space of bone that's in the mouth. And what that happens is that as other teeth are growing, they are erupt in sequences. A child can just take from one parent and you have no problem. So it's not, like I said, we have no control over it. Maybe because we just have not gotten to that extent of us getting to know about that more. But right now, there is no control. It has nothing to do with what you eat or any habit. It just happens. And when you notice that, you always go to the dental clinic to have it checked and to know what solution they have to provide.
Okay, Doc, there is practically no area of life where we don't have myths. So what are some misconceptions in this practice about visiting a dental clinic that you have heard of?
Okay, so what people have told me that I've heard about are two things, more than two things, but let me just highlight a few.
Okay.
And some people believe that I'll go to the dentist and they will find one problem that I don't have. That is not true. If you do not have any problem, then there is no way we can manufacture that while you're on the seat. Some people will say, doctor, you said I have a cavity. I don't feel it. It just, like I mentioned earlier, it starts slow. It gets worse.
At what point does the cavity have to be filled? At what point?
Whenever the dentist can see the cavity, then it has to be addressed. So if I can see the cavity there, even if it's not giving any issue, let us feel it before it gets worse. Also, some people also have this condition, especially people that want to extract their teeth that is needed for them to remove their teeth. They said, I heard from one person that once you start removing your teeth, you keep on doing it, that you never stop. And it also has to do with education and awareness. Exactly. It has to do with education and awareness.
Okay.
People are not aware of what to do after extracting a teeth.
Okay.
People extract a teeth and they just, I'm done.
What are they supposed to do?
So when you extract your teeth, the best thing to do is to get a replacement. Nature does not like a space, having seen space anywhere. What happens when you extract a tooth is other teeth try to tilt or move into the position of that particular space. And when they are doing that, they are living where they are meant to be, which means in the position that they are holding the bone to is becoming what is less. So in terms of doing that too, they are also losing their own support, meaning that they can also be extracted. Another thing that can also happen is that people tend to, when you remove your teeth from one side, some people say, I don't feel comfortable eating on that side again. So they chew on the other side.
True.
And in terms of eating too, it also has a cleaning effect in our mouth, saliva flowing and all that. So when you're eating on one side, the other side is dormant. It means dirt can pack easily on the other side. And when that happens too, it causes problem for that side. And before you know, another teeth has to be removed. So it is, I won't say it is a lie, but just that people are not aware of what to do. And if they are aware of what to do, then they will not have any problem.
Okay, so another one that I know that I've come across a lot is the use of, or the usage of baking soda and charcoal. Not this charcoal, the charcoal I'm talking about. Is it really bad? Are they really bad remedies for our teeth?
So the thing is that if used in the right quantity, they are not bad.
Okay.
But how do you know which is the right quantity or not?
Mm.
Which is why our toothpaste is enough. People say, no, I want to brighten my teeth. Let me use charcoal. Charcoal is very harsh and it scrapes the surface of the teeth. It is not different from.
But I remember sometimes when I was a child, I've used charcoal before. It's charcoal and salt. Yeah. We'll mix it together.
I have heard of that too. I've seen people doing it before. And it's like I said, dentistry in Nigeria has a long way to go in terms of awareness.
Okay.
Many people don't know what is good and what is bad. As long as they see people do something and it gives a favorable result for them in terms of aesthetics. I mean, I do this thing, my teeth gets whiter. I want to try it too. Somebody wants to try it too. But what people don't know is that our teeth are not meant to be white. There are different shades of teeth. We have a type of don'ts that we usually use as examples for people just to see that because this person has this shade of teeth that is this white does not mean you also have to have it.
Or does not mean that your teeth are dirty?
I don't mean they're dirty. This is also the reason why regular checkup is good, because you have these concerns, you raise them, they get addressed. So it's because of all these things that people want to say, oh, I want to try this method of doing that. And like I said, charcoal is very harsh. All this baking soda and using them to brush, it's very harsh on the teeth. It's just very similar to you filing your teeth, and the same effects actually are going to happen as well. So I don't advise people doing that. If you want to brush your teeth, the toothpaste is well designed for that purpose. And any concerns that you think you have, always come to the dentist so that can get addressed.
Another thing that came to mind as we were talking is it's so easy. I want to be in perfect health, but it's not cheap. Okay, and some people will tell you being affordable is relative. But for any Nigerian, any ordinary person, they'll be like, what am I going to do in dental clinic? I beg, let me pour this and this together and put. How affordable, my question, is visiting a dentist to check out, your teeth?
Let me use the case of a cavity, for example. If you visit the dentist regularly and they notice a cavity, to feel. It's just a simple feeling. Now, let me put monetary value to that. Like I said, I'm not going to say this is exactly what I'm charging. I'm just using as an example. So let's say I visit the dentist today and I notice a cavity. And say, oh, you need to fill this cavity because it becomes worse. How much is the cavity? He said it's 20 naira, and I fill it for 20 naira. Another person notices a cavity that's not disturbing me, and they don't do anything, and they start having pain later. Now, when they come to the dentist to fix this problem, if filling can no longer be done because you're just covering it up, the pain is still there. You need to address the pain. So what you need to do is to treat the tooth, get a crown, you reinforce the tooth. And now treating that, for example, like I said, if filling is 20 naira, to treat the tooth can be 80 naira. Crowning can be 100 naira, that's 180 naira, or something that 20 naira
could have failed
initially. Another people will also come and say, this is already so bad, we need to remove the tooth. We remove the tooth, let's say we remove 100 naira too. Okay, we need to replace the tooth, the replacement is 500 naira, so that's 600 naira for a problem that 20 naira could have solved. Yes. So ignorance, like I said, is the biggest problem that people have, and that is why they feel dentistry is expensive. Truly, dentistry is expensive everywhere in the world because the equipment, everything that they use also, they are what leads to this increased cost. But when you go to the dentist regularly and they notice all these things, it is addressed on time. It does not lead to something that is out of pocket for anybody to handle.
Is there any advantage of electric brush or manual brush? Which one has a higher advantage over the other?
So it doesn't matter whether you use a regular manual toothbrush or an electric toothbrush. It does not matter which one we use. What matters is the technique at which we are using the toothbrush. There's a technique for us to brush, which is not, it shouldn't be the fact that we are taking our toothbrush horizontally or just, some people just did horizontally, like they just want to do something. So it has to do with the right technique that we need to brush. And as long as you know the technique to brush, it doesn't matter whether we use an electric toothbrush or whether we use a manual one. Ideally, when we are brushing our upper teeth, we should brush away from the gum. So whether it's upper or the lower teeth. So for the upper teeth now, you're brushing it down.
I'll be mechanical, so I'll just be like, I'll be doing like this.
Exactly.
How will it be clean?
What we need to achieve is not rubbing on the teeth. It has to do with
I thought it's like this.
So the bristles of the toothbrush are engaged in between. So that is why when you're taking it down, whatever dirt is there, you are taking it down as well, you're taking it out. For the lower teeth, we are taking it off. So we do that for both the inside of the teeth and also the outside, and also we clean our tongue and we are good to go. When we are growing, whatever we learn growing up is what we are used to grow.
That's right, anyway.
So that's why we also advise parents to know the right technique, so at least when you are teaching their children, they can grow to learn, because it's always actually very difficult to clean inside out, but it is doable.
Just the way
I learned it when I was an adult too, and it's become a part of me right now. So it just has to do with us learning the right technique to brush, and we are good to go.
Interesting, that's great. So doctor, tell us your final word on oral health to our viewers.
Okay, so what I'm going to advise is that you only need professional advice from a professional. You don't take advice from the internet or from Google. If people go on Google and ask questions about, oh, what can I do this and how can I do that? I even see videos that are AI fabricated these days, giving dental advices, and that is wrong. You need to have a professional give you an advice and to also recommend treatment and also to treat you. And like I said, visit your dentist twice a year, that is every 6 months. Brush your teeth regularly, morning and night. Stay away from food that is bad for you, and just have a good smile and take care of yourself, and you'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for allowing us into your space.
Thank you. I'm glad I could be of help.
Hope when we call on you again, you will oblige us.
I'll be.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You've heard it all. File your teeth at your own risk. Whiten it and take responsibility for the consequences. That's it, unfiltered. All right? A word is enough for the wise. So, what goodies have I got for you today? First off, there's a whopping 20% discount on selected beauty products from the most original distributor of beauty brands in Nigeria. That's it, Conga Health. Yeah. If I were you, I would jump at this limited unbeatable offer right now because it may not last throughout the Yakata season. Then listen, here's another mouth-watering offer. This time, it's from Smile 360 Dental Clinic. Get 50% off your dental visit if you pick up a voucher from me on this program. Yes, you heard me. A whopping 50% off, only through yours truly. So chat with me on 080-3322-0367 or 090-700-47949 to show me your proof that you are subscribed to KTV and you thumbed up for Talking Health, and you get the 50% discount voucher. Got that now? Right. And that's how I wrap up today's edition. Until next time, think health matters. Think Talking Health with Bumi. Bye for now.